This is Where You Live with Gene and Tony. We're broadcasting from the Concierge Landscape Studios, and we're brought to you by Extreme Exteriors. It's time now for a message from the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association. The MHA Minute is brought to you by Pest Control Services. When you need an exterminator, you want someone reliable and effective. Give Greg Keener a call at Pest Control Services, 952-894-9748. Pest Control Services is a proud member of Angie's List and a member of the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association. That's Pest Control Services, 952-894-9748. And tell Greg that Gene and Tony sent you.
Some of the benefits of successful property management. Are you ready? On-time payment of rent, improved resident quality, stabilized income, reduced turnover, controlled expenses, improved financial performance, less property wear and tear, allowance for property improvements, enhanced property value, being proactive, not reactive, better relationships with neighbors, fewer police calls, creating a community, being a great neighbor. These are some of the benefits of good property management. And whether you run a townhome association or you are renting out your condo, duplex, or 100-plus unit building, membership with the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association gives you the tools you need to run your business effectively while minimizing the headaches. Don't be a good landlord, be a great one. Visit www.mmha.com. That's two M's, mmha.com.
Councilman Samuels, I have a question, or I want to make a comment and get your input on the issue of evicting bad citizens from our rental property. Most cities in our metro area now have all landlords use what they call a crime-free addendum to their lease. And that addendum says if you, Mr. Renter or Ms. Renter, commit a crime on this property, that's a cause for eviction. Right? You're familiar with that?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. As a good landlord and as an experienced manager, I like that. I definitely want to be able to move out people that are causing problems. And I have managed some properties where we found out there was some drug dealing going on, or there was constant domestic issues going on. The problem I run into, even as an experienced landlord, is the city puts pressure on us to move these people out and evict them. But if we actually end up in court, in county court, in front of a judge over this eviction action, the courts tend to favor the tenant, especially when it's about a behavior issue like crime. And we do not get support, I don't feel, in the county courts to comply with what the cities want us to do.
Yeah,
have you heard that before?
I've heard that a lot.
Yeah.
From landlords.
Yeah.
And so we have, this instrument that was designed to give you the power.
Yes.
And then the power gets taken away by another instrument.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's very frustrating. And that happens, in many ways. I heard a couple of days ago, one of my neighbors was robbed at gunpoint with her 10-year-old daughter.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
And her husband. They robbed the whole family. And the guy was caught after robbing someone else, and he was arrested, and he got a bail of $75,000 was suggested, and it was reduced by the judge to $5,000.
Oh, my.
So he's back out on the street.
Oh, my.
You can imagine this 10-year-old.
Oh, my.
So... these are the things that the court sometimes seems to be in its own world.
Yeah.
That's why I tell you, one of the problems with this concentration of rental, which eventually in many ways becomes concentration of poverty, which is very, very unhealthy. It seems to be the natural fallout of the American dream, which you move to the blessed place you can. I'm convinced there has to be another dream, because this one is not working. This concentrations of people of one class is destroying our community, and it's not creating the variety of life experiences that will inform our decision makers to act wisely on behalf of a larger community, because they've only lived with their own people all their lives. They grow up in their middle-class enclave, became middle class or upper middle class. They don't know anything about living on the streets.
Right.
Mean streets. And so somebody shows up in their courts dressed up, or hauled in or whatever, and they have a total fantasy of what the impact of
what's
this person's
really happening.
behavior. That's why we have to now be writing impact statements to the judges when one of the ne'er-do-wells in our community gets arrested.
I see.
So the judges can have a sense of the impact on the community. Now,
interesting. We're always talking on this show about unintended consequences of our actions.
Yeah.
And the courts, there are obviously, and not just in housing, as you pointed out, unintended consequences.
Who is it, Mr. Samuels, that's writing these, what you call the impact statements?
Yeah, neighbors. This is one of the instruments that we came up with to influence the courts to act appropriately to the impact of the crime on the community.
Okay.
And so we have to write impact statements. Now, you would think reading the crime itself committed that the judge would get it.
You'd think that would be a big enough impact.
But I think what the judges are thinking is, well, that's a tough neighborhood, tough people live there. And they've figured out they have their coping mechanisms, and this is their guy. This is one of their guys. So we'll just send him home to them, and they know how to deal with him.
I in housing court too. I understand the court's position in a way because they don't want to make people homeless.
Right.
And they don't want to, especially families with children, they do not want to make them homeless. And they don't necessarily trust landlords to do the right thing.
Right.
Not many people do.
Right.
So I can understand that dilemma for the courts too.
Yeah. Okay, so if we have a landlord listening and they want some help from the city in getting rid of some bad eggs that they might have in their property, who do they go to? Who do they talk to try and get the help from the city to get something like an impact statement to be able to make a bigger and better impression on a judge in an eviction?
Yeah, the CPSs. These are the community policing specialists, I guess.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, they are the ones who have their finger on all of this.
Yep, that's true.
They do have relationships with the landlord, and now they have a system where they notify landlords of crimes or on their properties.
Mr. Luther Kruger.
Yep.
We appreciate him.
If you register with them, you'll get these alerts. So you know exactly, a landlord can know exactly what's happening even before things get to some crisis stage.
That's
all
a
right.
Good suggestion.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Samuels. We're running out of time here for this segment, but thank you so much for taking some time to be on our show.
It was nice to meet you.
Same here.
Folks, that was Minneapolis City Council member Don Samuels on the tough situation with rental housing. And he has a difficult ward, to be sure.
And he's a thoughtful person.
Yeah.
I was impressed by that. Yep.
We'll have to talk more about this, but we need to take a break right now. But folks, don't go away. We've got a whole nother hour of Where You Live with Gene and Tony in store. And we want you to be here with us. So we will take this quick break, and we'll see you back after a few.
To be loved.